Hello everyone, my name's Northern Nate. Welcome back to another episode. And in today's episode, I want to talk to you about one of my personal favorite video game companies that isn't around anymore. And that is the EA Sports. Big. Now, EA Sports Big created some of my favorite franchises throughout the PlayStation 2, the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii as well as the handhelds. They had some really good handheld games. If you check out my PSP collection, you'll see some there. But before that, we gotta get energized. Rockstar. Oh yeah, energy drinks. Now I'm going to be showing 3 of my favorite games that are all on the PlayStation 2, but you can get them on the Xbox and the GameCube as well. And let's start with the first one, and that is the classic SSX games. Now, SSX is a racing kind of sports snowboarding game in which you compete with 7 characters through 5 different courses, and the idea is simple. Basically, you race to see who gets first, or you can freestyle, which basically is all about points, and there's a multiple different paths throughout each mountain in which to kind of venture out to. So you don't have to just follow the simplistic track that winds down the hill. There's things like rails, there's borders that you can grind on, huge jumps, big old jumps that encourage you to explore multiple paths. So, highly recommended this game. There's multiple in the franchise. There's SSX Tricky, SSX 3. There's some on the PSP that I've shown off. Really good game on the PSP. The only downside to the original one is that the controls are a little bit hard to get used to when compared to the other racing games that they have produced. So it's a little tricky trying to actually get into the groove of how everything works. But once you get used to it, it's so much fun. And although there isn't as many levels as, say, newer generations of games, the amount of exploration that is required to actually master the levels will keep you coming back and replaying these levels more and more times. So SSX, highly recommended. Next up is Sled Storm. Sled Storm is a snowmobile racing game that feeds off of the SSX style gameplay, over-the-top jumps, over-the-top tricks, locations as well. There's one cool area in here. You're racing on like an iceberg with like broken ships and stuff in the middle, and you can jump through the ships and take huge jumps off that. Now, the snowmobiles themselves, they vary from like actual snowmobiles, so there's actually like product placement for Ford. I don't know why, but there's Ford snowmobiles, I guess, and a lot of fake ones. So the idea of like comparing it to ATV Off-Road Fury, it's got that similar kind of fake, kind of arcadey feel to it. In addition, they have about 7 levels that you can choose from. Similar to SSX, the winding path is not always the best one to follow. There's a huge amount of various different kind of jumps that you take off that lead you out of bounds into more areas in which cut your time down. Like the iceberg level, you can actually jump from iceberg to iceberg and kind of cut through the entire track. So I thought that was really cool. Soundtracks in both of the SSX and Sled Storm games are fantastic, except I can't really play them for the video because I'll get flagged. Stupid YouTube bullshit. Highly recommended. The only issue I have with Sled Storm is that when you're driving through the main course itself, when you hit ice patches, it's a little hard to control constantly, just because there's so much ice everywhere. And when you compare it to the next game here, it actually suffers because of it. So, but if you enjoy the over-the-top EA Sports games, definitely check out SSX or Sled Storm. SSX. Well, check out SSX too, but Sled Storm is a fantastic game you should get. And finally, we have Freakstyle. Now, Freakstyle is EA Big's dirt bike game compared to, or which rivaled like the ATV games and the MX versus ATV games. Similar to both SSX and Sled Storm, over-the-top dirt biking game. I almost find this more enjoyable than Sled Storm in that the controls are there. There's not a lot of frustrating sliding that you suffer from Sled Storm. However, there's dirt which slows you down through the tracks. Variety of characters as well. And a cool thing about the EA Sports Big games is that sometimes characters from like the SSX games will go into Sled Storm or Freakstyle. So you have that kind of transition between different franchise games, which I thought was really cool. Now, Freakstyle compared to the other two has a great trick system that I found more enjoyable and more responsive than the other two, in that I can plan my jump and my tricks without having to worry about constantly lining up my vehicle, compared to SSX and Sled Storm, where it was a little bit harder to get my trick meter boost gauge going. All three games feature a boost gauge system in which you got to do tricks to accumulate boost, which I thought is always fun because you're always encouraging people to kind of go crazy with the tricks and not just worry about coming in first, because points do add up as well. So anyways, guys, that is my kind of recommendation on the 3 EA Sports Big titles that initially came out on the PS2. Really great games to get into if you like arcadey racers like Hydro Thunder, or even like the Micro Machine games. They're a little bit cheesy and over the top too, which I enjoy. Or like the MX versus ATV and ATV Off-Road Fury games. All three of these are highly recommended, really cheap, so you can pretty much get them for less than $5 or $5. So go get these games. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can holler back. I'm still waiting for you to holler back.